And the next which we're gonna say is operational risk. And the next which we're gonna say is operational risk. And the next which we're gonna say is operational risk. And the next which we're gonna say is operational risk. Mr. Tony. Okay. The next thing which we're gonna see is market risk. It means it is the risk that an investor faces due to the decrease in a market value. Market value decreases, financial product arising out of the factors that affect the whole market, and it is not limited to a particular financial commodity, which is called a systematic. A market error arises because of uncertainty in the economy, political environment, natural, man-made disasters, which means the COVID-19 and the recession can only be hedged, however cannot be eliminated by diversification. So main thing market risk means it is an investor's faces due to the decrease in a market value. The product arises out of the factors. So it is a broad term that encompasses the risk that investors, investments or equities will decline in the value due to larger economic or a market changes or events. Under the umbrella of market risk, under the market risk, several kinds of more specific market risk including equity risk, interest rate risk and currency risk. Okay, it is mainly market risk. For market risk definition, it is experienced in every investment situation. That is a risk equity share price will drop by the markets. So it is a premium that has to two major. Risk-free rate is defined as the expected return without taking any risk. So next one we're gonna see is market risk. For example, it is a formula: market risk equal to expected return minus risk-free rate. So expected return minus risk-free rate, which means the market risk premium has two major aspects. One is required market risk, the second one is historical premium. So it is based on the expectation that the investors community has in the future or a based historical patterns. The risk-free rate is defined as a expected return without taking any risk. It is expected return without taking any risk. So by this, most often US Treasury rates, risk is almost zero. It is referred to risk-free rate. Okay. Then we'll see types of market risk. Types which we're gonna see is the first one, interest rate risk. Interest rate nothing. It arises when the value of security might fall. Security price will fall, the interest rate will be increases and decreases in prevailing long term interest rate. So it is a broader term, comprises compiled components like a basis risk, yield curve risk, options risk and repricing risk. This is a four type: basis, yield, options and repricing. So next one, second one is a foreign exchange risk, which means this arises because of the fluctuation in exchange rate. Means exchange dollar to rupees, rupees to euro, like that. Okay, it will be in the fluctuation in exchange rates between domestic currency and the foreign currency. So the most affected by the risk is MNCs that operate across geographics and have their payments coming in different currencies. Then the third one is commodity price risk, which means it arises because of fluctuation in prices of commodities like crude oil, gold, silver, etc. So commodity price risk will be increases. However, foreign exchange risk, commodity risk not only affect the multinational companies but also the common people like farmers, small business and commercial traders are be affected because of the commodity. The next one is equity price. Equity price means the last component of a market because the equity price risk refers change in a stock prices in a financial products. As the equity is most sensitive to any change in the economy, Equity price risk is one of the biggest part of the market risk. So one factor used to calculate market risk is calculation of a market risk premium. Simply put, market risk premium is the difference between expected rate of return and prevailing risk-free rate of return. So they have to prevail the risk-free rate of return. These are the types of market risk. And the advantages in that, actually market risk premium as explained in the example above, okay, helps in investors to calculate real rate of return. The investors have to calculate the real rate of return, even though the financial product might enjoy presenting a return, and investors should the investment in real rate it provides. So it can be calculated by taking into account and prevailing risk free interest rate and inflation rate. Okay, the next one is disadvantages, which we cannot completely ignore them. It can only be hedged, which comes with a cost intensive calculations. So it is a very recession to cycling changes in the economy. It is even more difficult to manage. Diversification will not help. So it's an important part of risk management as it affects the whole market simultaneously, and they help in measuring the maximum potential loss for a potential. So this time frame is the duration for which the market risk premium has to be calculated, while it bases the confidence level on the investor's comfort level. So we express it in percentage terms like 95% or 99%, 80% like that. So simply put, confidence level determines how much of a risk of an investor or a portfolio manager can take. Since market risk impacts the whole investors community, irrespective of their creditability or the asset class they operate on, it is closely watched by the regulators across the world. So, in fact, in the last 25 years, we have witnessed about four major regulations, which may more minor enhancement. Basel Committee is the main regulatory. Members nations are a free adapt and added more security. The next one is examples. For example, let's consider the example of an IT major. Okay, an investor wants to calculate a market risk premium associated with the stock price, which is currently quoting $1,000. Let's assume investor expects the stock price to be $1,100. So he is expecting $100 extra in expected growth. The following is the calculation in Excel. Okay, so the calculation of risk premium market risk is 1000 rupees. So current stock price, what he is expecting, 1100 rupees. So based on this, we will calculate market risk premium. The formula is for market risk equal to expected return minus risk free rate. So expected minus risk free rate is finally 11%. So it is an integral part of any portfolio. It arises because of the additional return that an investor expects to generate from the investment. If hedged, it can lead to a better results and safeguard your losses when market experience downward cycles. The next one we're gonna see is interest risk. So by this, interest risk. Interest risk means interest rate risk. Okay, interest rate risk, which means it is a chance that an unexpected change in interest rate, it will unexpected and will negatively affect the value of an investment. It will negatively affect the value of an investments. The next question, how does interest rate risk work? Okay, how interest rate risk will work. So let's assume you purchase a bond from a company ABC. Okay, because bond prices typically fall when interest rate rises. An unexpected interest means that your investment could suddenly lose the value. If you expect to sell the bond before it matures, this could mean you end up selling the bond for less than you paid it for, the capital loss. Of course, it's the same change of bond price is also affected by the maturity, coupon rate, its ability to be called, and other characteristics of bond. So one common way to measure a bond's interest rate is calculate its duration. By calculating duration, it will be easy to measure the interest rate risk. Okay. The next one is, why does interest rate risk matters? Why it is matter? In generally, short-term bonds carry less interest rate risk. So less responsive and to unexpected interest risk changes the long-term bonds. That implies the short-term bonds carry less interest rate than long-term bonds. Yes, because short-term bonds will carry a less interest, because long-term bond will be carrying the more interest, which if they can't afford or not. And some financial theories, this can be support for a popular hypothesis that the higher yield of long-term bonds include a premium for interest rate risk. So this is interest rate risk matter. And then calculations. How will we calculate the interest rate risk? See, interest rate risk analysis is almost always based on simultaneous movements in one or more yield curves using framework. Okay, to ensure the yield curve movements, they will maintain a Heath-Jarrett-Moulton framework, both consistent with the current market yield curves and such that no riskless arbitrage is possible. Okay, by calculating, how it will be calculated? Okay, by the techniques. It is calculating by the techniques. For techniques, the first one, it has seven techniques. The first one is marketing to market, means calculating net market value of assets and liabilities, sometimes called the market value of portfolio equity. Okay, the stress testing is the market value of shifting the yield curve in a specific way. So calculating the value risk of a portfolio, calculating the multi-period cash flow or a financially accrual income and expenses. Doing step 4 means calculating multiple cash flow. Last 4, the random yield curve movements and measuring probability distribution of cash flows and financial accrual income over the time. And the next, measuring the mismatch of the interest sensitivity gap of assets and liabilities by classifying each assets and liability by the timing of interest rate, reset or a maturity, whichever comes first. The last one, we have to analyze the duration. Interest rate risk mainly concern duration. So analyzing duration, DV01 key rate duration. It is a 4 type: duration, convexity, DV01 and key rate duration. Okay. So this is the techniques of two-way. The first one is simple interest formula. Second one is compound interest. In this formula, interest rate formula is used to calculate the repayment of amounts of loans and interest over the investments. It is calculated by the repayment of loan, fixed deposit and mutual funds. So it is also used to calculate interest on a credit card. It is also used to as a interest on a credit card. Okay. So this has two types. The first one is simple interest formula. For simple interest formula, it is P into R into T divided by 100. For compound interest formula means P into 1 plus I, the root of T minus P. Okay. In this, P means principal, R means rate of interest, T means time period. Okay. So principal into rate of interest into time period divided by 100. Time period, it's measuring of years. How many years? Okay. So mainly for simple interest rate, I'm giving some example. See, the borrower borrows 1,000 from a lender for a period of 9 months. So at the interest rate, you can check the material which I have given the example. So the borrower borrows 1,000 from a lender for a period of 9 months and at interest rate as 12%. Now we should calculate the simple interest rate. The interest to be paid a lender principal amount of $1,000. Same thing which we have to pay. So the principal in this, for simple interest rate, mainly the formula is P into R into T divided by 100. In this, P means principal. So principal rate is 1,000 which the borrower borrows. Okay. And The rate of interest is 12 percentage. Now the time period means years. Okay, the how many years? 9 months. Okay, it is 9 months. So by this the simple interest is totally calculated and measured in this example. You can check that and let me know if you have any queries. Please ask me. Okay. The second one is compound interest formula, which means interest on interest. It is calculated on the principal amount and the time period. It changes with the time. Okay. So the compound interest rate equal to P into 1 plus I T minus P. In this C, P means principal. The same thing is in simple interest. I means annual interest rate annually. Okay, we will calculate it annually. In this T means small t means number of compounding period for a year. How many year for a period? How many compounding period a year? Here I means R, which already here gave what we have given R. So this R I equal to R. So now we're going to see the example. The borrower took a personal loan from ABC. He borrowed 5,000 amount. The 5,000 is a P. Okay. The interest rate is 10 percentage for the time period of 5 years. So by this we have to calculate the compound interest formula. Please check out and let me know if you have any questions. Okay. So next one we're going to see is example already finished. Commodity risk. What is commodity? Commodity means it is based on price risk is the possibility that commodity price changes will cause financial losses. Yes, the risk always causes losses for the buyers or producers of a commodity. So buyers face the risk that commodity prices will be higher than expected. If you are planning to buy something and going for to market, we have only 1,000 rupees. The price will be the what we aimed for the product price is 1,000 only. So the product price will 1,000 only. So for example, we are planning to buy the product 1,000 rupees, but the market rate what increased it. Based on this increase, we will plan to buy the product by next which we have when we have a money to buy when we have the capacity to buy the product. So this is the commodity price. It will affect the buyers face the risk that commodity prices will be higher than expected. For example, many furniture manufacturer must buy a wood, so they have to buy a wood. So higher wood prices increase the cost of making furniture and negativity impact furniture maker profit margin. Yes, it will be in a negativity. So in this, major companies often hedge commodity price risk. One way to implement these hedges is with commodity futures and options contracts trades in major exchange like the CME means Chicago Mercantile Exchange. This is the meaning. The commodity risk mainly means financial losses for the buyers and producers. Okay, which will cause the losses for the buyers and producers of the commodity means product. So next one is a definition for a commodity, which we can see the risk is business faces due to change in the price, other terms of the commodity with a change in a time and management of a such risk is termed as commodity risk, which involves various strategies like hedging on a commodity through forwarding contract, future contract and options. It will arise a forwarding which the contract will be forwarded. So it will arise on a contract and future contract. The next, which we can see, understanding commodity price risk. How we will understand the commodity price? Under this, first one, the risk to buyers. In this, Automobile manufacturers commodity price risk to buyer stems for unexpected increase in commodity price, which can reduce a buyer's profit margin and make budgeting difficult. So, for the example, automobile manufacturer face commodity price risk because they use a commodities like a steel, rubber to produce a car. In this, steel prices jumps is high and it is rebounded 25% after declining the more than 3 years. So, they led many street financial analysts to conclude that auto manufacturers and auto parts makers could see a negative impact because of the profit which they aimed for. But if it is increased, they can't do anything. Okay. The second one is the risk to producers, means which can lead the lower profit, or even losses for the producers, means oil producers companies are unexpectedly aware of commodity price risk. So as oil prices fluctuate, the potential profit these companies can make also fluctuates. Some companies publish sensitivity tables to help the financial analyst the quantity exact level of commodity price risk facing the company. Third one is hedging commodity. So major companies often hedge the commodity price because one way to implement these hedges is with commodity future and options contracts traded on major exchanges like the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. The same exchange, these contracts can benefit commodity buyers and producers by reducing price uncertainty. Okay, so in this, producers and buyers can protect themselves from the fluctuations in commodity prices by purchasing a contract that guarantees a specific price for a commodity. They can also lock in the worst case scenario price to reduce potential in the future options. The next which can see commodity risk in under these factors which they can see. So the factors that can influence commodity prices included politics, seasons, weather, technology and market conditions. Some of the most economically important commodities include raw materials like the following. The raw materials means cotton, corn, wheat, oil, soybeans, copper, aluminum, etc. Okay, these are all the factors in the commodity price fluctuations. The sectors are which is a sector means producers of the following sectors are most export price fall. It will affect the most price fall. The minerals, mining and mineral sector like gold, steel, coal. The agricultural sector, wheat, cotton, sugar. Energy sector, oil, gas, electricity, etc. The next point is consumer of a commodities like airlines, transport companies, clothing, food manufacturers are primarily exposed by rising prices. The next one is exporters or importers face the risk from the time lag between the order and receipt of the goods or exchange fluctuations. These are the factors and sectors. Next we're going to see is commodity risk. The first one is price risk. Under this commodity, price risk means due to some adverse moment in the prices of commodities determined by the macroeconomic. It is a macroeconomic factors. Okay. The second one is quantity risk. It arises due to the changes in availability of commodities. So it is a changes of availability of commodities. Third one is cost risk, means it arises due to adverse moment in the prices of commodities in the business cost. Fourth one, regulatory risk, means arises due to the change in laws, LAWS and regulations which is having an impact on prices or availability of commodities. These are the types of commodity risk. And the next one which we're going to see is methods. The first one is sensitivity analysis. Sensitivity analysis means it is done by choosing arbitrary movements in a commodity. For example, a copper mining company will calculate the risk on the basis of how much it loses or gain based on the downwards or upward movement of the copper prices. So this is related of input commodities to make a copper. The next one is portfolio, which means the company analyzes commodity along with more detailed analysis. It will be analyzed more detailedly. For example, an organization that is exposed to change in crude oil prices in addition to scenario testing in changes in crude oil. So analyzes the potential impact of the availability of crude oil, changes in political policies, and impact on operational activities by one of these variables. So this is the portfolio approaches. Third one is value at risk, which means particularly financial institutions use a approach when undertaking sensitivity analysis. Okay, value at risk. So this is in addition to sensitivity analysis of changes in prices discussed the above. The companies analyze the probability of the event occurring. So accordingly, the sensitivity analysis is applied using the past price history. It is mainly using the past price history applying to the current exposure to model potential impact of a commodity price. The next which we're going to see is commodity risk under this strategies. Commodity risk management strategies. How to manage the commodity risk, the plan strategies. Okay. Which means the most appropriate method of managing risk depends on the organization to organization and depends on the following factors. The factors which is following means process of production. It will be in process of production. It is for the producer. Strategies for producers. The first one is strategies for producers. Under this first one is diversification, which means the producer generally rotates its production, either rotation through different products or rotation of products facility of the same product to manage the price risk or a cost risk associated with the production. While adopting diversification, producers should ensure that alternative products should not subject to the same price risk. So it will not subject to the same price risk. While adopting the diversification, producers may incur significant costs in form of reduced efficiencies and lost economics of a sale while resources are diverted to different operations. So it is a flexibility of diversity in the strategies for producers. The second strategy is for buyers. It is a strategies for buyers, which the buyers have to make a strategy in this. So under this, the first one is supplier negotiation, which means the buyer approaches supplier for an alternative pricing plan. So they may be lower price on increased volume of purchase. Offer alternatives may suggest change to supply chain process. The second one is alternative sourcing. In this, alternative means the buyer appoint an alternative producer for getting the same product or approach a different producer for substitute products in their production process. So this is the companies generally have strategies in review the use of commodities within the business risk complaint. Okay. The third one is production process review, which means usually review the use of commodities in the production process regularly with a view to change the mix of product of offset commodity. For example, manufacturer of food products continuously look or improvements in a product using a less of higher priced or a more volatile input such as the sugar and the wheat. Now that we understand how to manage commodity risk for the producer and buyer, okay, next we're going to see financial market instrument to manage the commodity risk, how they will manage the commodity risk. The first one, forward contract, which means it is simply contract between two parties to buy or sell an asset at a specified future time at a price agreed today. We will agree today the price and pay for tomorrow. Okay, this is the forward contract. Second one is future contract. On a simple sense, future and forwards are essentially the same except the future contract happen on future exchange. They will exchange the money in a future. So which acts as a major place between the buyers and the sellers. The contracts are negotiated at the future exchanges, which act as a market price between buyers and the sellers. So the product of a contract is said to belong position holder, and the selling party is said to be a short position holder. So as both parties raise their counterparty, walking away if the price goes against them. So the contract may involve both parties lodging a margin of the value of the product with a mutually trusted third party. Okay. Third one is commodity options, which means the commodity option in the company purchase or sell the commodity under an agreement. So that gives the right and not obligation to undertake the transaction at an agreed future date. The next we're going to see exchange rate risk. So under this, in this exchange rate risk, next one, exchange rate risk, meaning, so the US investor hedging exchange rate risk is particularly important when the US dollar is surging, since the risk cannot erode returns from overseas. Exchange rate mainly concern forex, means foreign exchange. Okay, the reverse is true, particularly when an investment are performing. This is because the depreciation of a local currency against the USD can provide an additional boost to the returns. In such situations, once the exchange rate movement is working in the investor's favor, the appropriate course of action is to go unhedged. So the rule of thumb with regard to foreign investment is to leave the exchange rate risk unhedged when the local currency is depreciating against the foreign exchange investment currency, but hedge the risk when the local currency is appreciating against the foreign investment currency. The next one is exchange rate. We're gonna see how exchange rate risk works, how it is works. Okay, it is a rule of thumb, which means with regard of foreign investment is to leave the exchange rate risk unhedged, which means not safeguarded when the local currency is depreciating against the foreign investment currency, but to hedge this risk when the local currency is appreciating against the foreign investment currency. It is the exchange of rate risk works. The next one is two ways to mitigate the forex risk. Mitigate, which means lessening the force of foreign exchange risk, reducing the risk in a foreign exchange. Mitigate means reducing the risk. Okay, the first one is invest in hedged assets. Hedged, hedged, hedged means safeguarded, which is protected. So invest in protected assets, means the essential solution is to invest the hedged overseas assets such as ETF, which means exchange traded funds, ETF. These are available for a wide range of underlying assets traded in most major markets. So many ETF providers offer hedged and unhedged, means protected and unprotected, safeguarded or unsafeguarded versions of the funds to track popular investment benchmarks or indexes. Although the hedged fund will generally have a slightly higher expense ratio than it is counterpart due to the cost of hedging. Okay, which means large ETF can hedge currency rate risk at a fraction of a hedging can incurred by an individual investors. It is incurred by individual investors. Okay, the next one is hedge exchange rate risk yourself. We ourselves have to make invest main face the risk. So investors most likely have some forex exposure if their portfolio contains foreign currency stocks or a bonds or a American depository receipts, which means ADR. So a common misconception is that their currency risk is hedged, protected, but that is not in the case. Okay. The next we're gonna see in this hedge exchange rate risk means the first one is currency forwards. Means it can be effectively used in hedged because protected risk. Okay, the investors can enter into forward contract to sell euros. Euros means their amount in the amount of equal to the maturity value of the bond and buy dollars. They will sell euros to buy dollars. For example, rupees to dollars like that. Okay, so while the advantage of a forward contract that may be cost in customized already specified amount and maturities, and major drawback is not readily accessible to individual investors. They cannot access this in individual investors. Okay, the next one is currency futures. They are used to hedge the risk rate in a currency exchange rate and small amount of upfront. They will maintain the small amount in upfront currency exchange in a future. Third one is currency ETFs. ETF already I have told, exchange traded funds, okay, that have a currency as an underlying asset, means this can be used in hedged exchange rate risk, probably not the most effective way to hedge amounts. For individual, their ability to be used for a small amounts and that may be in a margin eligible can be traded on the short side leads to them provided major benefits. Last one is currency options. This is the currency option offer another feasible alternative to hedging exchange rate. The currency option and investors and traders the right to buy, sell a specific agency in a specified amount on or before the expiration at the strike price. For example, currency options leaded on the or available in a denominations. Okay, so UR, GBD, CAD, JBY, asking them well suited for the individual investors. So this risk cannot be avoided altogether when investing overseas, but it can be mitigated. Mitigated means force, reducing the force, the considerable. So by this unit 2 is ended. Next we will meet on unit 3. Take care all.